Jali is a guardian of the world. History is a variable. You have to speak for people to know about something.
This June, Long Beach's wayward son, Vince Staples, released his 7th studio album, Crybaby. The name and cover art, wading into Americana and its intricate framework.
The Democrat Party, Sean, as you've covered better than anybody, has become a party of Marxist, communist, socialist, violent extremists.
It's a new epoch for the rapper, artist, and griot since leaving Def Jam Records. Independence that still hasn't wiped away any cynicism.
Take Netanyahu out of this. Do you believe in the notion of Israel as a Jewish state?
Yeah, I do.
And I say segregation now, segregation tomorrow.
I'm Sayou Cooper, and this is The Griots, reporting on hip-hop culture through a mix of soapbox editorials, weird commercial breaks, and some very serious guests.
The one that's kind of staccato, get rid of that one.
Vince is very specific on what he wants, and I feel usually I don't encounter that.
Find a clock, tick, 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 24 Jack Bauer bar.
He's really in depth, bro. Man, my job easier.
Second time it comes around, the first snare's a little late.
An international crisis is about to explode.
First African American with a real shot at the White House.
And counterterrorism expert Jack Bauer will have just 24 hours to stop it.
If Palmer gets hit, it'll tear this country apart.
Mr. Staples announced the release of Crybaby on April 28th, 3 days after the release of the project's single, Blackberry Marmalade. The rock intro begins with a quintessential drumstick click and accompanying music video that maps out the project's 10 tracks. Following the solitary theme of dark times, Vince Staples' last studio album, there's no features on Crybaby also.
Vince wanted to do something hip-hop, but he wanted to really make it old school. It's boom bap-ish, but it has an aggressive tone to it.
Speaking candidly, my first listen of Crybaby left me underwhelmed, versus I did want to read separately without music to get a better understanding of Mr. Staples' current politics, but a rock production that wasn't audacious in my opinion.
Okay, I want you to listen to this. Guns aren't toys. If you find a gun, leave it alone. Don't touch it, tell an adult. A real gun is not a toy. So if you find a gun, leave it alone, don't touch it, tell an adult. Okay, all together, one more time. If you find a gun, leave it alone, don't touch it, tell an adult.
Staples co-produced 7 out of 10 tracks on the project, with the most recurring producers after him being Mike Hector and Saint Mino. All 3 produced track 6, The Big Bad Wolf. Rich samples, Slick Rick's Sherwin story, an auditory mixture of traditional hip-hop scratching with drums and electric guitar.
We already know what it sounds like, so we just try to stay in that world. That's why you heard a lot of drum breaks and break beats and hip-hop. We already had a tempo in mind, 85, 90 BPM, that's a hip-hop-ish tempo.
Since you all put me onto Backwash last year, a Zambian-Canadian rapper that creates experimental and vivid rock rap music, I subconsciously kept comparing the two's approach. Crybaby, after one listen, felt jaded. In the days prior to my listen, I had seen nothing but great reviews about the project. Crybaby is one of the most lyrically and musically important hip-hop albums in a long time, Ebro said on X. My For You feed, an overlap of leftist organizers, writers, artists, and the debauchery of rap Twitter gave glowing reviews. Vince making his first album after leaving Def Jam about the inherent contradictions of American exceptionalism is kind of the most Vince thing that could happen, another user wrote. I was vexed by my disconnect.
The condition of my people, my history, was very much connected with other oppressed people, and I began to see that they're the same foot.
I would push back on the characterization of cleaning out Gaza. I think President Trump is looking at this from a humanitarian standpoint.
That was on the necks of the Vietnamese people, that was on the necks of all oppressed people on the planet, was the same foot that was on my neck. And so I began to understand that imperialism has to go. It is a poison that is killing people all over this world.
What was your first memory of the police? Taking my dad to jail. It was the day before Christmas. He knocked down the tree. I was probably in kindergarten or first grade. I vaguely remember it. My sister came over. She and my dad got into an argument. He chases my sister down the steps. Some weird shit happens. Then the police come out. He was in for a couple years.
Tonight, I can report to the American people and to the world that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda, and a terrorist who's responsible for the murder of thousands of innocent men, women, and children.
It happened early Saturday morning. One of the first strikes of the U.S.-Israeli attack on Iran hit a girls' school in Manab in southern Iran. The death toll is now at least 175, most of them primary school girls.
Born in Compton but raised in Long Beach, we got our first introduction to Vince Staples through the hip-hop collective Odd Future, one of the most important artist collectives of the 2010s. A crew made up of Black LA kids creating quirky and cool art. The most famous alumni include Tyler, the Creator, Earl Sweatshirt, Frank Ocean, Lionel Boyce, and Sid. Through a friendship with Sid, Staples got introduced to the rest of the collective and began making music with Earl Sweatshirt. Their first song together is EPAR, Rape Intentionally Spelled Backwards. Vince's verse is just him rapping about raping and murdering a woman.
We identify with the PLO because just like ourselves, they are fighting for the right of self-determination.
The Israeli regime of military occupation, settler colonialism, and apartheid was deeply allied with the apartheid regime in South Africa. The two regimes of apartheid were born the same year.
You cannot become a Jali. You have to be born Jali. But anybody can do Jali work. Anybody can do storytelling like a Jali.
Lost in Translation, Can't Find My Religion is God on Vacation. I just punched my ticket at Grand Metro Station. I left all my baggage, had nothing worth taking. I'm rushing, not chasing, I'm tired. Controlled by my worldly desires, I miss when I used to aspire.
And then, they told me, you can't make this, you gotta do hip-hop. Straight hip-hop is gonna translate better with your audience. Whatever the fuck that means.
Vince Staples' vibe is one of disenchanted wit.
I don't trust the Amish. They got iPhones. They don't have black Amish people. They got black Amish. They have like Puerto Rican Amish. I will never be Amish. It's not my movement. Let them have that. We always try to steal some shit in America, man. We're taking people oil. We took PlayStations. Let people be.
An artist I believe that sincerely loves creating, but not so much the spectacle of fame and the demands of his record label executives. Throughout Crybaby, Staples outlines the capitalistic ways the music industry behaves, especially to its black artists. I just punched my ticket at Grand Metro Station. I left all my baggage, had nothing worth taking. He raps in verse 2 of The Running Man. A track for the first 15 seconds, you don't hear Vince, just the rhythm of drums and electric guitar. A synthesizer scratch feel that distorts Vince's voice in the latter parts of the track, and then ultimately melds into an acoustic guitar melody for its closing. At no point while rightfully loathing the white supremacist imperialist American project does Vince provide any potential remedies for the resistance.
Chill. Remember when we put out Big Fish here and we asked if we could put it in electronic or dance, and I was told that the DSPs will get mad because you don't belong there.
Many of us that have been to the occupied territories come back with one finding that the Palestinians are living the worst form of apartheid than we ever experienced.
Controlled by my worldly desires, I miss when I used to aspire, he rapped in that verse too. Similar to Kendrick Lamar, YG, or even Tyler, the Creator, black men who grew up in Los Angeles County under very dangerous conditions, their reflections on trauma get diluted as they amass more wealth.
Did you know that you would get here where you are right now?
Oh, yeah. I told everything that's kind of happened, I've told people like 12 years ago.
I see a lot of conversation about the cover. That's not a baby version of Donald Trump. That's you, the listener. That is you as a baby. That is all of us. That's the socio-political systems in which we adopt and complain about at the same time. As we complain and as we operate within these things, without wanting to break apart from them, you're feeding the baby, the beast, so to say. And this album is about the different ways in which you can do that, Vince said. My aunt lived on Oak Street in Compton down the street from Oak Park, and the majority of my family is from that area. That's where they do their whatever you want to call it. I don't like to talk about shit like that. That shit is deep-rooted in my family since the beginning. The majority of my family is immigrants from Haiti. They lived in Canada first on the eastern part. Then they went from Canada to Louisiana. They were thinking they could get cheaper land, not knowing anything about slavery, any of that shit. From a 2016 interview with Self-Titled, quotes of which you heard me narrate, music kind of fell into Vince Staples' lap. He never had long-standing aspirations to be a rapper. It was something he realized he was good at, and he also wasn't doing anything else after dropping out of high school. In 2011, he released his first mixtape, Shine Gold Chain Volume 1, and a year later met Pittsburgh rapper Mac Miller. The two clicked and dropped their collaborative mixtape, Stolen Youth, on June 20th, 2013.
Hey, who you think winning between Drake and Kendrick? It's going up on social media. Don't trip, I got your back, bro.
You don't want to know how I feel about that shit, bro.
Clansmen, behold the fiery cross, still brilliant. All the troubled history failed to quench its humble flame.
So I'm signed to Universal, right?
Yeah.
I've been signed to Universal since I was 17. I haven't got a back end. That means when you turn in an album, they give you payment. I haven't got a back end since 2017, 18.
What the age of segregation actually promoted was a group of people who essentially found a niche above blacks but below successful whites.
3 listens of Crybaby later, I was enjoying the project a lot more, favoring 7 songs out of 10 I might revisit beyond this review. TV Guide, the 5th track on the album, is this dreamy, absurdist commentary on mass media. Staples rapping, television, you turn me on, looking at you all night long, movie magic up on the screen, I think the television's controlling me.
That record label just folded all of its independent labels and subsidiaries into each other, which means how we was kids, you got Rockefeller, you got Def Jam, you got all these things, none of them exist no more. They fired all the heads of the labels.
Their overt goal with these streetwalks is to really show that they have this human side.
Then you got record labels opening up IPOs, you got record labels destroying their relationships with TikTok, Spotify, things that pay out artists because they want to start their own shit.
But of course, marching down a sidewalk where people had to move aside, this was something that deeply resonated with the racial order in the South.
So then we getting priced out of our contracts, we getting priced out of our imprints. There are no labels basically that are incentivized to sign black music, and it's happening in front of our eyes. And while Taylor Swift is fighting for people to be able to have streaming money, niggas is on the internet arguing with each other about some rap shit.
Some Democrats in Congress are calling on White House senior policy advisor Stephen Miller to resign. This comes after a report from the Southern Poverty Law Center detailing emails in which Miller allegedly promoted white nationalist ideas ahead of the 2016 election.
Kendrick Lamar said this in an interview the other day. All the people making songs about guns and shooting and shit, it's not reality. And I'm glad he said that because he's on a way higher level than me. That's something I try to say all the time in my music. That's not real. We watched Pokemon, we skateboarded, we did everything everyone else did. I remember when I was in high school, T.I. was catching flack because he said his favorite TV show was Friends. Why does that not make sense? Where I grew up, the white people were across the street, the Asians lived 2 houses down, the Mexicans lived right here. We were all from the same neighborhood. We all did the same things. By 2014, Vince Staples was on his debut studio album, Summertime '06. Officially signed to Def Jam Recordings, the hip-hop label co-founded by Rick Rubin and Russell Simmons. By then, Mr. Staples' star was really on the rise. Along with proving he was an interesting rapper, his visual taste was also developing. His 2016 EP, Prima Donna, had a short film, and we saw the first version of The Vince Staples Show in 2019. When Crybaby dropped this month, Staples in the previous years had released Big Fish Theory, FM, self-titled album, Ramona Park Broke My Heart, and Dark Times.
Do you hate yourself?
No, but I should. It's something I'm working on. I gotta get my guilt up.
Fans and onlookers got the first look of the visual identity and storytelling of Crybaby when Vince Staples changed his profile pic to Reverend Jesse Jackson standing in front of the American flag. Its colors, red, white, and blue, would turn out to be the color scheme for the entire Crybaby era, leaning on Americana and reopening the debate on whether black artists can reclaim the empire's iconography. If you're an artist trying to symbolize America, your most likely go-to is the American flag. Through its widespread circulation and observance, it is a design tool used to push American nationalist propaganda.
Would you rather have a thought daughter or a gay son?
Twins, both.
When did you make the conscious decision to do something else? I never made a conscious decision. Music happened by accident. I wanted to go to college. I wanted to go to film school, even after I dropped out of high school. I was trying to finesse a situation where I could go to college, but none would let me in. What's your average day like? I wake up, my girl goes to work, I hang out with my sister, then take her to work too. I come back home, then my girl gets off work. In the middle of that, I might go to one of my homies' houses or play PlayStation, maybe talk to my grandma on the phone. The majority of my money goes to Global Tel-Link. I spend like $150 every week to answer calls. Reporting from the east coast of the American Empire, I'm Sayou Cooper, and this is The Griots. I wrote and produced this episode. Our Instagram and other cool stuff can be found on our website. Links are always in the description. Thank you to the ancestors. Until next time.